It's been called chess on ice. The sport of curling got its start over 500 years ago on the frozen lochs of Scotland. Today there are 1.5 million registered curlers around the globe. Canadians hold bragging rights to 80% of them. And the popularity of the sport surges in interest each Winter Olympics.
You'll notice when we deliver the stone that we always put a rotation on the stone, and that's why we call it curling.
U.S. Olympian from the Vancouver Winter Games, John Benton knows the ins and outs of curling.
You have 2 teams of 4 players, and each team throws 8 stones. They're granite stones, 42 pounds, and they're trying to throw their stones into the ring, which we call the house. The basic idea is that you want to get your stones closer to the center than your opponent's.
Benton has made a home for himself in Blaine as the director of curling operations at the Four Seasons Curling Club. He still competes and teaches.
I put my drive leg in the hack, which is the starter's block. It's where we push off from. I have my slider, which will go underneath my body in kind of a lunge position. And the cadence to the delivery is really a forward press, lift the hips, everything comes back, and then we push off and slide.
It's a bit like bocce ball.
So you alternate, you can knock the other team's stones out of the rings, you can promote your own stones, you can set up blockers, or guards as we call them in the game, to prevent the opponent from knocking yours out.
In 1998, curling became a medaling sport in the Olympics. The Four Seasons Curling Club opened in 2013 as North America's first dedicated year-round curling rink. And just 2 years later, it was named a U.S. Olympic training site. So it was fitting this past December when they hosted the Olympic trials for a new curling event, the mixed doubles.
There's actually a couple of stones that get positioned before any stones are thrown. So it's a little bit different, a little bit odd, but the games are faster, they're faster paced. And with only 2 people, the sweeping gets a little interesting because usually the shooter has to let go of the stone and get up and sweep their own stone.
In a tight match, the brother and sister team of Matt and Becca Hamilton came out on top, punching their ticket to Pyeongchang. Fitness has become a big part of the game in recent years, with sweepers walking over 2 miles in a match. Curling is attracting athletes from 8 to 80.
It's like golf. I mean, it's a precision sport and it takes a lot of finesse. I'm on a fantasy baseball team, and we use the curling lounge up here for our fantasy baseball draft, and a couple of guys in the league had joined the curling club. So before we had our draft, we went out here and threw a few stones, and that's how I got hooked on it.
HINZE says he's seen the competitiveness increase in league play over the past 4 years.
Well, when we first started, there were just kind of teams of friends. And over the period of years, some of the better players have kind of migrated to play with each other. And so I've seen some of these teams become pretty good.
Okay, taller. Sweep! Louder. Sweep! Keep on them. Sweep!
I knew nothing about curling when I started, and now I absolutely love it.
Blaine senior Elizabeth Olson discovered curling last year from a favorite teacher, which led her to this competitive after-school program at Four Seasons.
He was saying how cool the sport was, and me and my friends were looking for stuff to do, and it was through the school, it was an extracurricular, we just decided to go for it, and we actually really like it.
The youth program practices on Wednesdays and attracts both middle and high school students from Blaine, Spring Lake Park, Fridley, Anoka, and Centennial.
I feel like there are a lot of talented curlers here, especially from the Centennial team and all of that, and I feel like with the coaches that are so talented here that I'm benefiting so much, and just more of that every day would get better and better.
In the Twin Cities alone here, we grew from 1 club in 2010 to the point where we have 5 clubs now. So it's really taken off, and people are really enjoying it.
Curling. It's an old game that's new in town. I'm Steve Antis, reporting for CTN Journal.